Alright, welcome to Mark's Basement Arcade. Today we're going to be rebuilding these pop bumpers. And the first thing you do is there's two screws up on top. Take this cap off. There's two screws right here. 1, 2. Take those off. And then there's two screws that are inside. Those come off. Next thing we got to do is we got to flip this over because there's these light sockets in here. See if I can show them to you. Light sockets inside there, those are soldered in from the bottom. The only way to get these off on the top is unsolder those, pull this out, and get it that way. So let's get to that right now. Alright, we got the board flipped over. Now we gotta desolder this right here. And on the other side, you can barely see it, but it's right here. I don't know if you can see the tip of my screwdriver, but it's over here. So we got to desolder both of those in order to get the light out and to get the cup off. To desolder both of them. What I need is my screwdriver. Okay, that one's off. Now this back one's going to be fun, because I can barely see it. There we go. That one's off now too. Yes, is it off? Yeah, it's off. Alright. And these get bent straight. Now that's down. Now we got to take these screws out right here. Let's see if we get the flashlight on it. There's two screws here, and we get the pop bumper apart. And what size are those? I'm guessing 5/16. Ooh. Is that the correct? Or wasn't it? Yep. I can use my same tool I used to take the all the plastics off. There's one screw, bolt nut. Ta-da! There we go. This one's in okay shape, but it's all cracked right in here. Alrighty, it cracks right in here. Screw holes are cracked, so these are garbage. This piece looks good. I can just clean it up. It's got some old dirt on it. And then this other piece is good too. Looks fairly good. And that's it. That's how to take a pop bumper off. Next thing we're going to do is, where are we? Right here. I'm going to replace the sleeve on this. So let's pause the video and I'll get all my stuff together to do that. Alright, we're going to replace the sleeve on here, which is pretty easy. It's just these two screws on the back we're going to take out, get the coil loose, and we're going to get to the sleeve. Okay, let's get over to the other side. Try not to bump the camera. Move it up a little bit. There we go. Yes. Take like that. Get the sleeve out. Look at that. Ew. It's all kind of jacked up. Doesn't look too bad inside, but we're still replacing it anyways. Get a brand new one here. Grab the wrong side. Brand new one. Slide her back down. I just want to inspect this real quick. Looks pretty clean. No damage, just a little dirty. Let's get my towel and we'll wipe it off. But yeah, it's all no scarring or anything. Spring's real solid. Everything looks good on it. Nothing's broke. It's pretty clean. Alright. We're going to take the switches off later on when I put it back together so we can see how that's all done. This is just about taking it apart today because I need to order new parts, so I am not putting it back together until I get the new parts. When I looked at them originally, they don't look broke or anything, but you never know until you get stuff apart if anything's broke or not. I gotta see where the holes are. There we go. Put these screws back in. I'm just using my finger to hold up the base inside there to keep these tight. You don't need a He-Man these, but you do want them tight because you know how active these things are. There we go. That's all back together. Alright, we got the playfield flipped back over. As you can see, these three pop bumpers have been magically rebuilt already. That's how YouTube works. It's magic sometimes. Alright, we're gonna be putting Mylar down first because this has been all touched up and everything. So we want to put Mylar down to protect the touch-up. So let's get this all dusted. Make sure there's no foreign stuff that we don't want there, like crumbs or dust or anything. Here's the Mylar circle. We're just going to be peeling this off here. Here it is. We're going to be laying this down right around that circle. As good as we can get it. There we go. Now we're just gonna press it down just to get it to stick. Get the air out. Now that we got it pressed down, I'm going to take this, put my finger in the edge of it, and just rub it down real hard. What that does, it's going to force all the air pockets out, and it's going to super stick it to the play field. Let me see if I can show you what it's done. You can see that's the area I rubbed. Right around there you can see bubbles and how they stopped. You can see bubbles in there. All these little bubbles. And then when I rubbed it real hard, it took them all out. So let me continue to finish doing that. Get this back in here. It's always fun to do. Let me flip the screen back up. Okay, let's continue to get these bubbles out. This way I also know the mylar is completely stuck down 100%. And it's not going to peel up or anything. I've heard of some people using a little heat on it. That was my phone. Use a little heat on it to get it set better. But if you press hard enough with your finger on this, your finger will get warmed up just from the friction. Okay, that mylar circles down. The reason why I did that is because we got new paint on it, and it looks a lot better than it did with all the wore paint off. So we're just going to try to protect it as long as we can, and this should be a permanent repair where we don't have to worry about it ever getting nasty again. Alright, so now we're going to assemble the pop bumper. This is the old piece here, which was still good, but we're going to save it because there's nothing wrong with it. I just figured if I'm replacing all the pop bumpers, I'm just going to use all brand new parts. First thing we're going to do is take the pop bumper. We're going to slide this piece over it. That is a piece that the coil will pull down and it'll smack the balls like that. Like that. You got this red piece here, and the spring goes inside that. The red piece. It only goes on one way, I'll show you. And this is a new, I think it's called a skirt. That will slide over first. Now the spring goes on next like that. Now as you can see, got these two cups here. I don't know if I can focus this or not. There we go. You can see that there's a cup here and a cup here. Those will go into here and here on the bumper body. Those will just press down and hold themselves in. Just like that. Now this is partially assembled. Let me get this up a little higher. This is partially assembled now. What we're going to do is we're going to slide it down in here. Oh, there was a wire sticking out there. We're going to slide it down in there. It don't matter, I got to take everything back off anyways. But if we can get it in the holes, it would be neat. But we're not. So we're just going to get it like, oh, absolutely. We're going to get it there. We're going to drop the new screws in. Just Screw it down to the board. Remember, you don't need to be He-Man on this part. This thing, these two screws hold it beautifully down to the play field. Just gotta get them down so they're tight. I do them both evenly. Okay, top half is done. Alright, let's flip the machine over, the playfield over, and let's get to the next part. Alright, we got it all flipped over and everything. What we're going to do is take the 3 screws out of the base here so I can work on the switch and getting that adjusted correctly. I think I'm going to start using this cordless screwdriver more just to take screws out. By also removing this too, it makes it a little easier for me to solder those wires back on. Let's get that new piece. Where is it? The new light part. Let's get that in there. Here's a new piece. It's just easy. The bulb goes in there and twists, and that's how it works. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to push it up through the holes in it underneath the playfield. Let's get under there, find the holes and push it up. It's all pushed up now. Let me see if I got a light bulb that I can just screw on it. I just like to make sure that the distance is set on it right, but I'm sure it is. I always feel like I'm going to push it in too far where I can't get the bulb in. But I think it's got stops on it where it won't let you go in too far. The trick is putting the bulb in upside down. It just doesn't want to turn on me. The bulb is in far enough. Thinking the socket just needs a little adjustment. Or did it go in too far? No, it didn't go in too far. Why does it want to turn? There we go. Alright. These will bend down now. And we can actually get some solder on them. Let me see if I can move this for a little better angle. Where are we? Right here. Right here and here. We'll do this one first because you can see that. A little bit of my solder flux. Get my soldering iron. And that is hot. It sure didn't take long to look at. Screwdriver. It's all soldered perfectly. And make sure when you lay these down, they're right between these two posts here. I don't know how good you can see that. See how it's between this post and this post? Because you can have metal here and metal here. But we don't want to have this touch the metal. So next we're going to go on to this one and solder this wire onto that. Get a little more flux on there. Yes, my flux looks weird. That's some really old stuff I had. It does the job. It's just, I don't know, it's some real old stuff I had. Most flux doesn't look this gross. I think it really just turned my Q-tip black. I don't know why. But it's not this color, it's more of a like a yellow color. For some reason it turned it black yesterday. When I first put it on, I guess it's some chemical reaction. Okay, we're gonna tin up this post here. This wire, nice new coat on it. And this, we'll just get that right down there, and we'll touch them. Let it sit a little bit. Oh, I moved it too quick. Let it sit a little bit. There we go. Do the wiggle test. That baby is stuck on there good. Alright, soldering is done. Turn off the soldering iron. And we're gonna work on the switch here. This is going to be an important adjustment. But first we got to clean it off. So we're going to unscrew it. Over here and get rid of my solder. As you can see earlier, we did the sleeve and the coil, so we don't have to worry about that part right now. I don't know why I did it earlier. I should have just waited to the end and did it all at one time. But, alright. Let's get a new towel, so we can put a little naphtha on it to clean off that old grease that is on the switch. We're going to put some new stuff on it. This is the spoon. I'll show you how this works. As soon as I get this all cleaned up and the contacts cleaned up, this is what this wiggles and hits, which activates this contact, which will pull the coil down and disconnect these two, which aren't even connected, so we have to adjust those too. Let me get my grease. I'm trying out this grease. PBR grease is from Pinball Resource. I'm using that on the little bowl there. See how good it works. I figured I'd give it a try. I bought some parts there in the past that worked perfect. So we're going to get this adjusted. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to take this and twist that down a little bit. It's actually a little crooked too. So we're going to take it and we're going to straighten that out a little bit, give it a little twist, and then we're going to bring it down. So once that fires, it disconnects, and that's what makes our point. Give us a little. Let me see when we push that on there. Yeah, that's got to come up a little bit. It wasn't out of whack. I made it out of whack. Okay. Let's see how that is now. Let's adjust it when we got it together. All right, let's get a little bit of grease. That's what it looks like. Pretty. What it smells to me like, it smells like rear end fluid if you ever worked on a car. That's exactly what it smells like to me. It smells just like rear end fluid in that rear axle. Just gonna slather that up in there. That is done. All the grease you need for this job. I'm gonna get my sandpaper. We're gonna clean all those contacts off. Same thing, 600 grit, wet dry sandpaper. Almost. This one I do extra good is because it's more of a high voltage contact, and I want to make sure you get the bang when that coil fires. That's clean too. Alright. There's my cordless screwdriver. I'm using that just to put the screws in. It's because it's magnetic. And magnets are nice, because you don't lose the screws unless you knock them off trying to put them in a hole. Alright, that's done. Let's get this screwed down tighter so we can start getting adjustment on it. As you can see, no you can't see. When I push this down, see how the pole's moving? I want that pole to be directly in the center of that. So this has to go back a little bit, forward, right there. touch it. It's not going anywhere. It's directly in the center where it's supposed to be. Alright, time to swap batteries. Alright, we got the new batteries in. See if we can get this a little lower. Just want to show you the contacts on there. I'm going to show you what I did. So you notice this? That post is not moving at all. Now when I move it, you can see how that makes the contact, but we're going to have to adjust that one just a little bit because we're not getting it to touch. Now where did I put my, there it goes. We are not getting it to touch the thing. I'm going to bend it down just a little bit. And that gap is a little too tight. I just want no weird stray firing. That's about perfect. And this. Let's get that down just a little bit. You know how I like my switches to rub. We're going to get that little bit of moving out of the top switch. That's what we want. Alright. We got the light soldered in. We got the switch adjusted correctly. We got all the contacts cleaned. Yeah, I like that. That's all adjusted. So we're going to put the coil assembly back on. Now this we gotta get the posts up through these holes here. There we go. We'll just push them up from the bottom. See how they're back in the holes on both sides. And we're almost done. Let's put the screws back in. Alright, that goes there. Let's get these screws down. You know, I feel like listening to a little Eddie Murphy. Did you know he did a couple songs? My girl likes to party all the time, party all the time, party all the time. No, I'm not quitting my day job. Party all the time. And then I think he had another song. It was We Like Ugly Women. I don't know if that was a song or a comedy skit. I don't know why I feel like listening to Eddie Murphy right now. These two little screws. These are actually nylock screws. They got a little nylon in the head of them, so they won't vibrate loose. But if you're really crazy and you want to put some thread locker on there, I'd put blue. But personally, if these nylock nuts are shot on you or they're not nylock nuts, I'd take the part of that assembly there to the hardware store and I'd go find some nylock nuts that fit on it. These don't need to be He-Man tight either because they're nylock nuts. They just gotta be tight to where they are. And then that's it. We got our good movement. And see, when it fires, these two contacts touch. That's where you get your points from. The bottom one, that one fires the coil, fires, contacts touch, points. And that's how the pop bumper works. And that's it. I don't think there's anything else to do on here except for get it back together. Everything else has been done. Oh yeah, and then when I'm done, I take a little blue Sharpie and I just make a little dot on there, a little line. That way I know that you can see I got one here too, and right there, and right there. That way when I get my machine done, I can look over it and be like, oh, I missed that or whatever. But that's how I do it. You don't have to do it. So anyways, that's how you rebuild a pop bumper on a Williams. As you can see, that goes around, makes your contact, and boom, there's your points. And that's it. Hope you liked the video, found it interesting. Share it with your friends. Like the video, give it a thumbs up. Come check us out at Mark's Basement Arcade on Facebook. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow with your friends. Share it, spam it all over if it helps you. And I appreciate it. And everyone, have a good day. Thank you.